So this week ended up being a little crazier than originally anticipated, with Apple retracting a feature from their 18.3 beta update, as well as Samsung unveiling a competitor to the yet-to-be-announced iPhone 17 Air, and then of course TikTok going down, but then being brought back with a special caveat moving forward. So without further ado, let's deep dive into everything that happened this week from an Apple and tech perspective, so you're fully up to date. Let's get into it. Alright, so let's first talk about the 18.3 RC update. So if you guys aren't aware, Jeff did cover the entire update of 18.3, and we are in the RC edition, so we should be getting the public version next week around the Tuesday or Wednesday timeframe. So definitely be ready to install that on all your iOS, iPadOS, as well as a macOS device. And definitely stay tuned because I will have a complete walkthrough on the iPadOS side of everything that happened with 18.3. So to quickly highlight some of the things that did come out with 18.3, the RC edition, the first one has to be with camera control and visual intelligence specifically. Even though we did get visual intelligence with 18.2, a lot of the features were still lacking, especially with one of the bigger ones being the ability to take a picture of a flyer or a poster, extract all the necessary information from it, and then add it to your calendar, like time, date, as well as location. And then secondly, being able to identify certain animals as well as plants when you are using visual intelligence. Before this update, Apple would default back to its original kind of situation where it would figure out exactly which plant it is based on the camera application, but now it's using Apple Intelligence to figure out what you're looking at. So that is a big update, especially for myself, because I was literally trying to do this about a week or two ago and it wasn't working, but now it does work, which I'm happy to announce. Now, one of the features they actually retracted, or at least kind of retracted, has to do with notification summaries, because we've been seeing some crazy and some memeable notification summaries that I've seen all over the internet, on X and Instagram, and of course on 9to5 Mac, where the summaries, even though they are summarizing the content, there isn't enough context for that content to be summarized, so it kind of gives you these crazy summaries that are very unexpected, which sometimes don't make sense and can cause some harm or alarm people more so than actually giving you a summary of what's being said. So Apple has retracted notification summaries from working from news as well as entertainment summaries, so you'll still be getting your iMessage summaries and maybe something from other applications and things like that, but when it comes to news and entertainment, you will not get summaries for those because as of right now, it's a little too crazy. And then another big one that's coming to 18.3 is going to have to do with screen recording and being able to have a couple of other options when you are screen recording on an iOS or iPadOS device. With the first thing being the fact that you are now able to use a mic and record in stereo audio when you are screen recording, as well as having a display live camera overlay to have a picture-in-picture look, and then of course HDR support. The biggest headliner that we had in the tech world has to be the ban and then the unban of TikTok. On Sunday evening, TikTok was banned and taken off the App Store, as well as people that already had the application got locked out. Now this ban only lasted for about 6 to 12 hours, depending on who you were and what type of experience you got, but again, it did get brought back, with the one caveat being that TikTok is still not available to download from the Apple application store. So if you've never had TikTok on your phone, then you are not able to download, very similar to what we saw when Fortnite went down and Epic Games went down. So now, of course, you have people online selling iPhones for $2,000 up to $50,000 on eBay for iPhones that already have TikTok pre-installed. I remember seeing this exact situation when Epic Games got into the lawsuit and when Fortnite became unavailable, where people were selling their iPhones for a hefty price because it's still at Fortnite. Now it remains yet to be seen if these are going to be sold, and we still don't know if the TikTok ban is going to be fully lifted, meaning will it come back to the App Store. But as of right now, if you did have the TikTok application on your iPhone, or of course any iPad for that matter, it'll still work normally as if you had it before. So again, the overall TikTok ban has been lifted. It's just a matter of if you are becoming a new user of TikTok, you cannot download it on your iPhone, unfortunately, or for better or for worse. And let me know in the comment down below what you think of the TikTok ban and everything that's happening around that. And then next up, let's talk about Samsung a little bit, go over to the dark side, quote unquote, or to the other side. Samsung did unveil their S25 lineup with their S25, their S25 Plus, and their S25 Ultra, and I actually got some hands-on time with it. I spent about 2 hours with the device, compared it to Apple's flagship, the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and seeing exactly what the differences were. Overall, from a hardware standpoint, the Samsung 25 Ultra is a great phone. It's built with high quality materials, it's made out of titanium, it feels robust in the hand, and then of course the internal specs also match that premium feel. You have 12 gigs of RAM base, you have the new Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy processor, which is a 3nm process to build that processor, so again, it's going to be the latest and greatest, but at the end of the day, it comes down to ecosystem, preference, and what you're used to overall. it's going to be very hard to pull somebody away who's using an iPhone or has been using or been building their Apple ecosystem for 20 years to be like, hey, completely switch out your iPhone and go to Samsung while still having your iPad, your macOS computer, your MacBook Pro, your HomePod, your Apple TV, and all the other auxiliary products that come with the Apple ecosystem. So I don't really know exactly what's going to happen in the world of going Android versus iPhone, but I think if you're iPhone, you're going to stick with iPhone unless you're only really using an iPhone, and then vice versa, the same thing. If you're a Samsung user and you're fully invested in the Samsung ecosystem, it's going to be very tough to pull somebody away from that to go to the Apple side. But one big announcement that I mentioned in the beginning of this video is that Samsung unveiled their S25 Edge lineup, which again, a lot of mystery is going on with this one. They unveiled what it looked like. Nobody was actually able to touch it or interact with it. They were just kind of being shown off. And this is their ultra slim kind of S25 offering, which supposedly will compete with the iPhone 17 Air, which all but confirms that Apple's working on some sort of ultra thin product in the iPhone category. And then one more tidbit of news when it comes to Apple, they opened up a new flagship Miami store, which a lot of creators got to go see in person. And it does open up today, Friday the 24th, as of the release of this video, so if you are in the Miami area, go check it out because it looks beautiful. And it is a very green-forward environment, being a biophilic environment, so again, you're going to see a lot of greenery around there. Apparently the trees are going to canopy over it over time, so you have shade across all the different outlets of using the actual Apple store moving forward. So again, having a flagship store in Miami is something that a lot of people wanted. And then last but not least, I want to highlight two accessories that I've been using over the last couple weeks that I wanted to finish up this video with and round up the entire week. First and foremost is going to be Zera's MacForge kind of Mac Pro Mac Mini chassis. It's basically turning your M4 Mac Mini and putting it into a chassis that makes it look like a Mac Pro, and I think it looks awesome on the desk setup if you guys do want to check it out. It comes in a silver as well as a space black colorway. I have the silver one, and the space black one I think I might be getting in a future video, so definitely stay tuned. But I absolutely love this because it makes you feel like you have a brand new computer, makes it look like a mini Mac Pro, and I just think for an aesthetic purpose, it's awesome. And then secondly, I wanted to highlight Basis's charging accessory, the Nomos charging accessory, which is basically a 5-in-1 desk charger with everything that you would need from a charging standpoint, aside from an Apple Watch charger. But you have a 15-watt Qi 2 wireless charger. You also have a 140-watt USB-C cable that is retractable and magnetic that goes back in there. Then you have two additional Type-C ports and a Type-A port to charge up whatever you see fit. And of course, you have a real diagnostic and live diagnostic LCD screen, which lets you know which ports are being used up, how fast things are being charged, and also how long it will take for your item to be charged. So that one, if you need a desk charging accessory, or maybe a charger for the living room, because a lot of people have different iPhones and different plugs, this one could be the way to go. But that'll do it for this video, everybody. That is going to be the Friday 5. That is everything that happened this week that's Apple and tech related, worth note. So now you're all caught up. And let me know with a comment down below what you think of the TikTok ban, of what you think about 18.3, the RC edition, as well as what you think about the S25 Edge and what that means for Apple moving forward. But that'll do it. If you made it to the end, leave a little dolphin in the comments down below so I know you made it to the end. And if you want to watch more videos like this one, definitely check out one of these videos right here. And until next time, I'm Fernando, and I'm out of here, everybody. Peace.